Inflation killed your dollar by 10% last year. I see silver going to $100 an ounce in Q1 of 2026, and then 130 after that. We're going on 6th year of a supply deficit. We mined 813 million ounces, yet we consumed over 1 billion ounces of silver. And so here's one of the biggest reasons why silver is going to continue going to the moon. If we can let gold go to the moon, if we can let silver go to the moon, we can reevaluate it and use it to pay off our debt. Silver's going to $130 an ounce in 2026. So here's the thing that you guys need to know. We're in our going on 6th year of a supply deficit with silver. In 2025, we mined 813 million ounces, yet we consumed over 1 billion ounces of silver. So back that with now being classified as a critical mineral, silver now has a new floor. And we saw that dip going from $60 to $85 in 2025 and then back down to 70, that was the dip. The days of $40, $50, $60 an ounce silver are over. What you want to be betting on is silver cheap right now? Is it too expensive? Nope. We're only going up from here, and I personally am buying until we reach $200 per ounce. So in this video, I'm going to give you my price prediction backed by real data, and I'm going to pull in some industry experts like Andy Sheckman, Josh Sheckman from Miles Franklin to also give you the facts that they're spitting to me of why the days of $50, $60 an ounce silver are over, and why we're going to see 100 very soon, and then 130 after that, and why we can see $200 per ounce even after that, all inside this video. So let's get straight into it. So I'm going to give you 7 reasons why I believe silver is going to go first to $100 an ounce, and then why I think it's going to level there for a little bit, and then surpass that and move on into the 130 range, all inside 2026. So the first thing you need to understand is currency debasement. The Romans did it to their denarius in the 1st and the 2nd century. They took all the silver out of their coins, removing all of the silver content, and then continuing to tell Roman citizens, hey, this is your coin. This is what you use to buy stuff. Inflation soared. The Spanish Empire, which the 15th to the 17th century was the strongest economy in the world, would come to America, they'd mine silver, they'd bring it back to Spain to expand their empire, fund their wars, they debased their currency, and they gave their citizens tin, metal that wasn't worth anything. Inflation soared. And then we did it in the United States. These quarters all have 90% silver. And in 1965, we started debasing our currency. After 1965, the only coins that still had silver in them were half dollars like this. And after 1971, all of the silver content was eliminated. We went off the gold standard, and then inflation soared. So you have to understand that silver, gold, is a store of value. It is an inflation hedge. If you look at history, which always repeats itself, the Romans did it, the Spanish did it, the US did it, and now nobody wants our dollar. So in 2025 alone, the dollar drops 10% in value. But what happens to silver? An ounce of silver, these are half-ounce coins right here, an ounce of silver was 30 bucks in January of 2025. And by the end of the year, it was getting into the 80s. As I'm making this video right now, silver is just under $90 per ounce. We've got currency debasement. What's fact 2? It's a supply deficit. We are going into our 6th year of a supply deficit. We mined, as a world, just over 800 million ounces in 2025, yet we consumed 1,012,000 ounces. Over 1 billion ounces of silver was consumed. Where does it go? If you look at a Tomahawk cruiser missile, just that missile alone, it has a monster box of silver in it. That is 500 ounces of silver. We need it in medical equipment. We need it in solar panels. We need it in semiconductors. To this day, there is no metal that conducts electricity more effectively than silver. So other people say, well, Bitcoin's gonna be the future. Well, guess what? It takes electricity to mine Bitcoin, to mine cryptocurrency. Where does that come from? How is the electricity conducted? Silver. So we still need silver. Then we have to look at what's going on in the world. During Q4 of 2025, the Fed dropped rates 3 times. If we look at history, again, it repeats itself. In 2008, what did we have? We had a housing crisis. People lost their homes. The bank lent out money to people that could not afford to pay back that loan, and they lent it out at very cheap rates. Anytime rates drop, it's the sign of a weakened dollar. When rates drop, the dollar loses its value. When the dollar loses its value, that money has to go somewhere, and it doesn't stay in paper assets. It doesn't stay in the stock market, okay? It goes to where it can hedge inflation. Where is that? It's in silver, it's in gold. So gold goes up 28% in 2009 after the 2008 crash. Inflation soars in 2025. 2025, the Fed drops rates 3 times inside 1 quarter, which is a record. The dollar loses its value. What happens to gold and silver? It goes immensely up. Now, what's the fourth reason why silver is going to continue going to the moon? Why I see $100 an ounce very soon? In this quarter, in Q1 of 2026, I see $100 an ounce, okay? And here's the fourth reason why. If you look at monetary policy across the globe, gold is expensive, $4,600 an ounce, $4,700 an ounce. Silver still theoretically is not. We're at 90 bucks an ounce right now. Okay, so to back your currency, to have a hedge against inflation, to have countries that are tired of the US dollar, this is why the BRICS nations exist, you have to have something that you can back. And at the end of the day, you cannot back currency by the full faith and credit of the United States government, which has proven to be absolute crap over the last several decades. So you have to go into a metal that hedges inflation, or oil, or something of tangible value. So countries start stocking up on gold, they start stocking up on silver, but it's a lot easier to get into silver as a barrier of entry because it's so much lower. So for one of the first times in history, we actually saw the growth of silver outpace gold. We saw the gold-silver ratio drop, which I'm going to talk about in a second. I'm also going to be talking about Andy Schectman and Josh Schectman's opinion from Miles Franklin, 2 close friends of mine that give me a lot of intel from a global perspective of what's going on with silver and gold. And so here's one of the biggest reasons, if not the biggest reason, why I see silver going to $100 an ounce in Q1 of 2026 and on into the 130 range by the end of this year. I was shared some information from Andy Schectman about a conversation that he had had with an advisor to Trump. And the train of thought was this. Trump said, hey, tariffs exist as sanctions. They exist as incentivizing manufacturers to come back to America. We've inflated our dollar. We can't print more of it and have countries want our money. We cannot pay off our debt, our deficit, with the US dollar anymore because it's not worth anything. Why does the United States government, why does the Federal Reserve hold more gold than any other bank combined? Well, because if we can let gold go to the moon, if we can let silver go to the moon, we can reevaluate it and use it to pay off our debt. Okay? And silver, because it's in a supply deficit, because unlike gold, it also has a massive utility demand. It's not going to go down when that is used to pay off debt. So the train of thought is, let silver and gold go to the moon and use it to pay off our debt. Bring manufacturing back to the United States so we can increase our gross domestic product. We can get more countries to buy our goods, our products, and our services. We can get factories that are overseas to come here. How are we going to do that? We're going to say, hey, if you're not here, we're going to tax you. So we're going to bring companies back to America like Porsche for the first time, looking at bringing manufacturing back into the United States. I've got my GT3 RS over here. They're looking at starting to make that car in the United States because they don't want to pay the tariffs. So that brings manufacturing of big companies back in the United States. That puts a baseline on your economy. Then you get rid of the dollar as we know it and the way we know it, and you use silver and gold to go to the moon to pay off the debt and bring your country back into a position of power. So that's what I believe is happening with silver and gold. Now, if I talk to Andy Schectman and Josh Schectman, and I'm actually going to check right now because I texted them earlier, Josh specifically told me he sees 95 by the end of Q1 of 2026. I'm right there with them. I think about $100. Going to the future, I'm telling you right now, guys, I'm going to continue buying silver at least until it reaches $200 an ounce because I'm very confident that it will reach $200 an ounce in the next couple of years. But between now and then, I see 100 Q1 of 2026. And I think it's going to resist there a little bit. I think that's going to be a culture shock to many investors. But at the end of the day, I think it's going to continue riding up to $130 an ounce because we have a supply deficit issue. Mexico mines 1/4 of the global production of silver on an annual basis. We need it from a utility use perspective. Countries are using it to back their currency. For the first time ever, really, institutional investors are getting into silver, recognizing it as an inflation hedge, a store of value, and to back currency. We are now going into the 6th year of a supply deficit. We have utility use, we have monetary value, and it's been reclassified as a critical mineral. There are all these reasons why silver's not stopping. When we saw that dip towards the end of December, down to $70 an ounce, that was the dip. We're not seeing $50, $60 an ounce silver anymore. We're gonna see 90, 100, and 130 by the end of this year. And in a second here, I'm gonna tell you what I do to multiply my wealth with silver, because that's just a starting point for me. I take this and I turn it into cash flowing assets, which I'm gonna talk about in a second. Guys, if you're brand new to my channel, make sure to subscribe, tap that notification bell, and smash that like button if you're loving this video so far. All I do on my channel is drop my wealth building tips that I personally use. I am not a financial advisor telling you how to make 8, 9, 10% a year and charging for it. I keep my money where I make 10% and I hedge inflation. I borrow against it and I multiply my net worth by 3 to 5x every few years by going into cash flowing deals. And so what I want to share with you now is what I do with this is I keep some personally, I store the rest in a vault, and I have a line of credit against it. And here's what I want you to think about. If we look at the 30-year average of silver or even gold, it's outperformed the stock market, first of all, okay? Every financial advisor listening to this, yes, this right here without paying you guys outperforms the stock market, okay? If we look at the 30-year average, it's around 11%. We look at the 10-year average, $100,000 of silver from 2015 is worth about $500,000 today, over 10 years. If that is not a signal of a dying dollar and an inflation problem, I don't know what is. That is proof right there, all the proof that you need. Every single year, just imagine that, you know, this is 100 grand, okay? Every year, the 30-year average is telling me that that's now 111,000, that's now 122,000, that's now 133,000, this is now 146, 147,000. So I stack silver. I don't keep my money in copper, in paper, and things that have no value, okay? I keep it in gold and silver, and this goes up in value every single year. And then I have a line of credit against it, 75% loan to value. So here's my line of credit, right? Looking about like that. And every year this goes up, I increase my line of credit. I take this line of credit and I go invest in a cash flowing asset. I go into oil deals if I want to eliminate taxes on my earned income. These are the type of oil deals that produce 6% per month in the first couple years. And then I take that cash flow and I pay the line of credit back. And when I do, by the time I go look again, my silver has increased in value. I can increase that line of credit and I repeat the process. I also go into multifamily real estate where I can build passive income where I'm getting cash flow every single month. I use that cash flow to pay my line of credit back. And then when I go to repeat the process, my silver's worth even more. This allows me every single time to beat any Dave Ramsey follower using leverage on silver and gold that are going up in value year over year over year, borrowing against it so I can continue keeping this asset and investing it in areas that multiply my net worth by 3 to 5x every few years. If you want a little bit more information on that, that is what I do inside the Capitalist Network. I have an entire community teaching this, providing you the investments that I go in, oil, gas, real estate, high profit wells, all my tax strategies, all the tools I use, even wholesale pricing on precious metals from my partners at Miles Franklin, because our members get very exclusive pricing directly from Miles Franklin. So there's a link in the description for you to check that out. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments. I'm happy to answer. Make sure you subscribe and I'll see you in the next video.